Pain point marketing is the only way you're going to sell anything in 2026. All right, here's the deal. Features just don't sell anymore. Pain does. People will spend money to solve a problem first and foremost. I'm overwhelmed. You fix that? Money. People will pay to solve pain. And if your marketing isn't anchored in pain, it's not going to cut through the noise. I hear this all the time. You're probably even thinking to yourself, but we don't want to be negative. Look, I get it. Pain point marketing is not about being negative. It's actually about tapping into the emotional energy of your ideal customer and showing them a relief to the pain that they have in their life that you solve. You get to swoop in and solve their problem, and you actually get to show them transformation and relief. And that is huge. That is huge for building trust, and it is huge for getting people to say, take my money. Now, why is pain point marketing more important than ever before? We're dealing with a couple of things. We're living in the attention economy, and our attention is not that easy to get. We also are in a world now where there's AI this and AI that, and AI is making a lot of crappy content, and it's just totally saturated. And so if you can tap into the emotional energy of your ideal target audience, you can cut through the noise. You can cut through all of that AI garbage, mumbo jumbo. Other thing we're dealing with is buyer skepticism. And so if you can really quickly show, I get you, I see this issue, and I've got a solution to that, you're way more likely to gain the trust and even just the initial attention of the person on the other side of that screen. Now, what are most brands doing? Most brands are saying, we don't want to be negative. I've heard that a lot. And they're saying buzzwords because if we just put AI in the headline, we'll cut through the noise. And they're also focusing on features. Well, we have this feature and that feature and that feature and that feature. One of my favorite all-time examples when it comes down to selling a transformation is this. Apple and the iPod. Way back in the day when the iPod first came out, they did not say we have the most storage. They said 1,000 songs in your pocket. They saw that people were driving around with a huge stack of CDs or a book of CDs or a big heavy Walkman. And that was a pain point. So I think what Apple did with the iPod by putting 1,000 songs in our pocket was they turned our life into a dance party at any moment in a really accessible and really fashion forward and really portable way. That's an example of pain point marketing. And it didn't come off as negative at all. They just saw that there was an issue and they said, we've got this really transformative way to solve that. So what does pain point marketing actually sound like? It uses emotional language. It plays out the internal dialogue that your ideal target audience is probably having that you can solve. And it also leans into really specific scenarios. So giving people really specific stories and very specific scenarios and how you quickly identify and understand and get that scenario and how you quickly take them to a place of transformation in a very fast way that's really easy to absorb and understand. So you hook with emotional language, you hook with I see you, I get you, and then you play that out with a narrative that they probably have had as an internal dialogue before or a really specific scenario that maybe they have felt or been through. So for me, with small business owners, I might say something like, you can't afford a marketing team, but you still need to get marketing done. Let's talk about, I want to take a step back and let's talk a little bit about why are people so afraid of leaning into pain points when it comes to marketing? Because I do get a lot of pushback on this, and it's really important, I think, to understand. One is I think people are scared. They are scared to sound negative. They're scared to sound salesy. and they're scared of offending people. Well, if I'm calling out like how they stink, no, I'm just kidding. If I'm calling out how they have this problem, like, aren't they just going to feel like I'm calling them out? And I want to instead lift them up. Maybe to a point, but again, don't forget, people will spend money to take pain away. So if you can quickly identify that I see your pain and I get it, and you can show up with empathy, deep understanding, and a fast solution to pick it, they're not going to think about how they're being offended. They're going to think about, yeah, I got that problem. When can you talk? So how do you talk about pain without exploiting it? Use empathetic language. Make sure you're not doing it in a way that like takes away from the dignity of your audience. You don't want to be cutting your audience down. So it's not that. It's more about empathy and shared experience. And then always showing the transformation and the solution and the ultimate end result and change that they will get by working with you or buying your product. Now, where should pain show up in your marketing? It should show up in headlines and hooks at the top of the article on your blog, in the first 5 seconds of your video. Show it at the front end of the conversation. Show it when people are just deciding if they want to walk up the steps, sit on your front porch, and walk into your door. Now, what happens to brands who don't do pain point marketing? You blend in and you get ignored, and nobody wants that. To wrap it up, take this one thing away. If your content does not make your ideal target audience feel seen, then they won't buy. Pain point marketing is the way to cut through the noise, to get front and center, and to hook your audience's attention. And then you get the opportunity, once you have their attention, to show them the amazing transformation that you can provide to them. Now, if you need a little help with your brand messaging and you're trying to think about what are my pain points that my target audience has, I don't even know. I haven't really thought about it that way. So click the link below and we'll set up a free chat to talk about how we can help your business go to the next level with clear messaging, clear pain point marketing, and a consistent marketing team that's always in your back pocket.
All right, so I'm currently at my dashboard on smmshiba.com, and do not get confused by the website names. SMM Shiba and SMM Dodge are actually the same website. So all you have to do once you've created yourself an account here is to go on list, click on this category icon, select, and here you want to select something, basically any option that says from with video. So I'm going to choose this one right here. And this should be already fine. 2014, 2017. Yeah. Now I'm going to click on buy, confirm. And now you can go onto your product orders and you will see this is pending. All right, the order is now completed. This didn't even take 2 minutes. What you want to do now is you want to copy that ID, and we want to be organized, right? Especially if we have multiple channels, you will not find them again. So make sure to save it somewhere.